Well, it sure has been quiet lately here on AeroExploration, but behind the scenes, life has been anything but quiet. Between a whirlwind few months at work and the engine overhaul on the Sundowner and preparing for the biggest aviation event of the year, AirVenture 2025, I sure have some updates, some stories, and some exciting new chapters to share. So today, we're talking about where I've been, where we're going, and what you can expect here on the channel moving forward. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some updates on AeroExploration. Hey everyone, and welcome back to AeroExploration. I'm Jim, and yes, it's been a minute. The last video that I put out was over 2 months ago, and I know that's a really long time in YouTube land. But trust me, I haven't just been sitting around, and I've been super busy in my real life. In today's video, I want to share some updates on what's been going on behind the scenes, talk about some incredible things that are coming up, not just for the channel, but for AirVenture 2025 and a Flying Midwest podcast forum. Plus new merch, future flying adventures, CFI progress, and a whole lot more. All right, so let's start with the obvious, the break. Around mid-May, my full-time job really ramped up in a big way. And unfortunately, that meant that I had to hit pause on video creation. For those of you who aren't aware, editing videos like this is incredibly time-consuming. I had heard a stat when I first started doing YouTube videos that it takes about 1 hour of post time for every minute of finished video. And that had proved to be true. So while I absolutely love creating videos, I just couldn't keep up with the demands of making videos, being present for my family and for work. So, the break. But this break also gave me a new appreciation for balance. I realized how much I rely on aviation and content creation as a form of escape. There's a real calm that I find from taking a raw video, finding some perfect B-roll, curating the right music, and building a story that I can be proud of. I find it really therapeutic in a way, and I really missed it. So hopefully after we get through AirVenture and the things I've got going on at work, I can get back into regular video creation and bringing you more content on AeroExploration. We'll talk about that in a minute. One really big piece of my content puzzle is the Sundowner engine overhaul. So my aircraft, the Beechcraft Sundowner, has been down for several months as we've been working through this engine overhaul process. But fortunately, we're getting really close to the finish line and getting the engine back together, back on the aircraft, and get up flying. So in this process, we're revamping our magneto system to include one eMag to go with the now overhauled traditional mag. We're also putting on a brand new engine case, cylinders, pistons, and there's a lot of other parts that are going to be new and or refurbished. We even have an opportunity, or a need really, to put a new prop on the engine. So a lot of things are going into the engine, and we're going to round things out by installing a new JPI engine monitor. This is going to help us keep tabs on the cylinder health and the engine performance, and it's going to be really important during our break-in period. Those of you who may not be familiar, once you do an engine overhaul or put a new engine on an aircraft, there is a certain amount of hours that you have to break in the engine, and we'll be working on that as soon as it's put back together. That doesn't mean we have to wait to fly until the break-in is over. So once the break-in process starts, I've already got some cool destinations picked out in northern Minnesota. So I'm planning to have some flight video concepts along Lake Superior's North Shore and some other areas near the Canadian border. So these long flights are going to help not only get me back in the air and get some reps in again, it's going to help break the engine in, and it's going to help me create some much needed content. So while all that is still going on, I'm prepping for the biggest aviation event of the year, AirVenture 2025. It's right around the corner, and I could not be more excited. This is by far one of my favorite weeks of the year. And it's not just about the aircraft. I get to connect with a lot of my friends again, hang out over aircraft, and just get some really great content in the process. So while I'm out there for the week, I'm going to be filming for the channel. I'll be interviewing, connecting with many people for the podcast. And there's 2 events that I plan on being at as well. So those of you who are at the show, the first event is going to be the YouTuber Meetup. Now, I'm not part of the panel itself, but I'll be attending, meeting folks who are there, and connecting with other aviation creators. So that event will be Monday, July 21st, 2:30 p.m. until 4. It will be at Forum Stage 7. So whether you are a longtime subscriber to my channel or you just love aviation YouTube, There's going to be plenty of people that you can meet as far as YouTubers, so come on out, say hi to me, and come meet some of your favorite aviation creators. So the next event is super exciting for me because we get an opportunity to host a forum. The Flying Midwest podcast will be hosting the first ever that we know of aviation podcaster question and answer session and meetup forum. There's going to be several great guests and aviation podcasts that are going to be included in the panel, including Ian from AvTalk, the guys from the Green Dot team, Jason Miller from Learn the Finer Points, Dan Milliken from the Taking Off podcast, the Airline Pilot Guy, and many more. So we hope you'll come out, you'll ask some questions of the panel, get to meet some of your favorites, and maybe discover your next must-listen-to aviation podcast. Now for the channel, first I'm going to bring back This Week in Aviation History, returning in August. So I built up a lot of different stories that I want to tell. I just haven't had time to record them. So I'll be working on that over the next several weeks. In August, we'll relaunch that on the channel. And as I say on all the infomercials,
but wait, there's more.
At AirVenture this year, I plan to do a little bit of deep diving into the history of this incredible event, from its humble beginnings in Milwaukee to what it's become today. I look forward to creating that and sharing that with all of you. And the last little piece of content I plan to create at Oshkosh, at least, is to document what it's like to attend AirVenture as a content creator. So I'm going to record some behind-the-scenes stuff of myself, of the crew from the Flying Midwest podcast, and there might be a couple other surprises along the way. So it's a really exciting trip. I'm really excited to show you what happens at AirVenture, the great people to put it together, and what it's like to be behind the scenes for us at the big show. The other project that I've been working on in the background for all the content is updating the Flying Midwest website. So that's flyingmidwest.com, and it's got all of our different brands under the Flying Midwest banner. So that's the Badger Pilot YouTube channel, here over at AeroExploration, as well as the podcast, Flying Midwest Podcast, and Fly the Transition. So each of these pieces of content are going to have their own umbrella on the website. Plus, we're going to upload catalogs of old podcast episodes and videos for each of those pieces of content. And most excitingly, new merch. Of all the great merch that we have on the site, the thing I'm most excited about is the line of AeroExploration merchandise, including this shirt. There's a shirt with a smaller logo, and embroidered hats. So this hat I was absolutely blown away by when the sample arrived. Admittedly, I was a little nervous ordering hats that are embroidered sight unseen, but I think they turned out really great. The embroidery looks clean, the hat's really comfortable, and I was just really impressed by the product overall. So you can pick up your hat and any other AeroExploration gear over at the website. And all of your purchases go to representing the channel as well as supporting what we do here. And with all my free time, something else I want to reconnect with is my path towards becoming a flight instructor. With the Sundowner out of commission as long as it was and life moving so fast, I really had to let that sit for a little bit on the back burner so I could focus on those other things. But flying has always been more about just my personal adventures. I want to teach, I want to give back, and I want to share aviation with others. Ultimately, I want to make instructing part of my retirement plan. But I know that that journey can start right now. My hope is that through this channel and through the podcasts, that I can inspire others and start building the kind of aviation community that I'll one day be able to teach in. Before I wrap up, I want to say thank you to all of you who have continued to stick with the channel through this break. Your comments, likes of the podcast, your reviews, all the connections that I've made have really helped me stay connected to the content creation and kept me motivated during some pretty challenging and busy times. It's been a long couple months, and I hope to really dive back into aviation in a big way. And content creation is a big part of that. So if you have any ideas for future videos, a place you want me to fly to, a story you want me to tell, you can either leave a comment on this video or go to the website and connect with me there. Your ideas will help shape the future of AeroExploration. So there you have it. A new engine coming soon on the airplane, a refreshed focus on aviation, huge plans for AirVenture, and a channel that's ready to soar once again. Yeah, I know it's a cheesy aviation pun, but it's staying in. If you haven't already, please make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications so that you don't miss what's coming up next. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you at AirVenture.